Hitomi Tsukishiro, a teenage girl born into a family of mages, has lost her sense of colors mysteriously, becoming placid and socially withdrawn. Her grandmother, Kohaku, decides to use time magic to transport Hitomi back in time to meet her 17-year-old self, in hopes to end her granddaughter's suffering. The magic brings Hitomi 60 years back to 2018, and right smack into the room of a boy, where she promptly escapes from the window. However, this is caught on tape by 3 members of the photography and arts club at Minamigaoka High School, Hitomi's own school in the future, and subsequently uploaded on the internet. The 3 students later encounter Hitomi lost in the streets and offer to help her find the magic shop in town, introducing themselves to be Asagi Kanezo, Kurumi Kawai, and Sho Yamabuki, who falsely believe Hitomi is Yutio Aoi's girlfriend after she was seen climbing out from his window. Guided to the magic shop, Hitomi finds her grandmother had left for England to study magic, and is met with her grandmother's grandmother instead, who generously provides her lodging. Hitomi decides to show her a Nazarite earring Kohaku gave her back in the future to prove her relationship to their lineage, but discovers she dropped it by accident after hiding under Aoi's bed. Hitomi follows Aoi as he heads out the next day, finally stopping at a park where he begins drawing. To her surprise, she can see the colors in his art, which seemingly comes to life as she unexpectedly reveals herself to him. Aoi questions her about the video and she fumbles around to explain magic caused it, making herself out to be a mage, and requests to hear more about the drawing, but he leaves. Returning to the magic shop, Kohaku's family decides to enroll Hitomi in school, wishing to let her continue to live a life despite having traveled from the future. And before she knows it, she's in Minamigaoka and reunited with the members of the photography and art club, including Aoi, with Asagi and Kohaku, who was scheduled to return soon in the same class as her. In the middle of the hallway, Aoi requests Hitomi show some magic to quell the rumor she is his girlfriend. Although she produces a sparkle of stars from her wand, Hitomi is reminded of her hatred for magic. Despite the poor quality of her magic, Aoi wishes to see it one more time in the future, and in return lets her look at his drawing again. Glad her magic could make someone happy, Yamabuki witnesses her practicing magic late at night on school grounds, creating a shower of stars. Minamigaoka's various clubs start organizing a presentation to encourage first years to join. Due to being a transfer student, Hitomi is encouraged to take a look around and she enters the club room of the photography and art club, which is revealed to have merged due to Aoi being the only member in the art section and the photography section short on members. Aoi first introduces Hitomi to the art section after she wishes to try both sides out, giving her a chance to do some freehand drawing. However, due to her lack of ability to see the colors, she ends up painting a very bold and colorful painting of stuffed rabbits, which Aoi finds extremely interesting. Later, the others introduce Hitomi to the photography section through a hands-on session, but when the drama club's presentation is pushed forward, Yamabuki has to go take photos, leaving the organizing shorthanded, and Hitomi is roped into being a model. With a dry ice effect on the pool, she's instructed to use blue star sand, which is sold at the magic shop for non-mages to create magic, to walk on water, and the new members are challenged to take a mysterious-looking photo with their cameras. Once again, Hitomi's lack of ability to see colors makes her use the wrong sand, which causes snow to fall instead. But she's able to walk on water until Kurumi calls out to her in worry, making her lose concentration and fall into the water. These 2 incidents let Aoi realize Hitomi is unable to see colors, and she begs him not to tell anyone, apologizing for what happened today and thanking him for letting her remember colors through his drawings. Hitomi decides to join the photography and art club. Kohaku finally returns from England by ship and uses her magic to create an illusion of her school in London using some photos. But an oncoming train accidentally causes dust from the engine to fall all over everyone and the teacher. After school though, Kohaku informs Hitomi the train was caused by her instead, and suspects she has a dormant power within her. For club activities the next day, Hitomi, accompanied by Kohaku, goes off to the school roof with everyone to take photos of the night skyline, wanting to create a new kind of theme for a more interesting presentation, combining both photography and art of the upcoming cultural festival. As first-year student, Chisuga Fukasawa stays behind with Kurumi after telling her some ghost stories and scaring her. After the photo shoot, Hitomi gathers up the courage to tell everyone she is actually from the future, with Kohaku being her grandmother. The 2 use use magic to make a train in the sky, and they all return home after taking these satisfying shots. Kohaku joins the photography and art club as a way of merging the magic club, which she disbanded accidentally sometime back, changing its name to the Magic Photography Art Club. Asagi struggles with her one-sided feelings for Yamabuki, especially after a fortune-telling told her romantic luck to be its worst with an excitement arrival of a rival. Hitomi constantly practices with her magic to achieve satisfactory results after seeing how it made Aoi happy. And Aoi is having difficulty expressing his thoughts through art after opting to go job hunting instead of pursuing art school. Later during the week, Kohaku holds a pep rally/potluck party at the Tukishido residence, and purposely creates a chance for Aoi and Hitomi to be alone, for Hitomi to gift Aoi her personally handmade star sand for him to have a change of pace when having blocks in the middle of drawing. However, Asagi gets jealous when Yamabuki states how watching Hitomi try her best at everything she does makes him want to do the same. But some encouragement from Kohaku gives her the resolve to change for the better as well. Asagi decides to try her hand at making postcards using her rabbit-themed photographs with Yamabuki's help, remembering how they used to be childhood friends, and decides to store away her feelings for now. After the party, Aoi uses the sand after turning off the lights and is bathed in a glow of stars, along with a golden fish jumping into his drawing device. Aoi tells Hitomi about the golden fish that appeared, recalling how it was featured in some of his drawings before, but its first appearance was in an art competition in elementary school, where he won first place with it. Having known Aoi since elementary school, Yamabuki shows Hitomi a photo of it, but this unexpectedly gets Asagi jealous again after seeing the two walk together, and she determines to make him see her as a woman. The next day, Kurumi holds a photo shoot where everyone dresses up in formal wear and takes photos outside, but Hitomi accidentally wanders into Aoi's drawing. There, amidst a colorful scenery of a sky-night line reflected in the water where the golden fish swims, she continues deeper until the scenery suddenly changes past a series of clouds into a deserted wasteland. The surrounding architecture has been buried, as well as a huge golden fish being caught dead in a net. Hitomi also witnesses a shadowy figure attempting to capture a smaller golden fish and rushes to stop him, only to wake up on the bench in the real world after having supposedly collapsed. However, when questioned about it, Aoi snaps at Hitomi, and this causes friction between the two, who avoid each other until they accidentally bump into each other, Aoi having just finished looking at an expedition set up by his friend, and Hitomi on her way home with Kohaku. Running away from him, Aoi chases her to the bus stop and promises her that he will let her see his latest work once he's done, reawakening the golden fish, and Hitomi realizes that her sense of colors is suddenly back. The next day, however, Hitomi's sense of colors is gone again. As the third years Yamabuki and Kurumi prepare for exams, they entrust summer break camp planning to the next president, Asagi, and vice president, Hitomi. However, Chisuga accidentally brings up Kurumi's older sister, who works as a famous pastry chef in a shop called Boutique Roll, which triggers Kurumi's inferiority complex against her. When Hitomi hesitantly worries for her, Kurumi tells Hitomi that Yamabuki wants to pursue photography at university, while Aoi is aiming for a national university like her as well, possibly to pursue art, confessing that they have the same motivation and passion like her sister that she lacks. Kurumi requests that Hitomi keep this conversation between them, but Chisuga overhears it and shows her the various photos that he had taken of her during club activities, encouraging her that she'll find things she loves for sure in the future. Kurumi decides that photography is her first priority for now, and resolves to work hard for it. Later, Aoi shows Hitomi a new piece of a human hand reaching out to a scenery of transparent globes, which awakens her lost yearning for seeing colors. While viewing the night skyline, Hitomi decides to come clean about her lack of ability to see colors. Kohaku theorizes that Hitomi unconsciously used magic on herself that resulted in her monochromatic world, and has Aoi do all sorts of embarrassing experiments with Hitomi to try and get a hint on how she can break the spell, such as calling him by his first name and having them come close to each other. These experiments prove to be a huge failure though, and Kohaku promises to practice time magic to bring Hitomi back to her original time. However, the club members feel a sense of sadness remembering Hitomi's imminent departure. Hitomi herself is unwilling to go back. Yamabuki decides to take Hitomi around per her request to take photos of the city in this era, confessing to her afterwards and making her run away in a panic. Hitomi asks Kohaku for advice the next day, while constantly avoiding Yamabuki and skipping out on club activities. Asagi also begins to get wind that something is up, and tells her that she should give the confessor a proper answer, which Hitomi does the following day. Asagi soon realizes what's going on and tells Hitomi up front that she likes Yamabuki, and she always has for a long time, since they were childhood friends before running away. Asagi and Hitomi reconcile eating parfaits together. For the next round of club activities, Kohaku decides to use magic to bring the students coming to see the photography and art club's anthologies into the photos and pictures, but halfway back home reveals to Hitomi that she'll be the one casting the magic instead. Wanting to let everyone experience the same bright and colorful scenes, Hitomi practices relentlessly during club and back home with paper airplanes and Kohaku's photos of England. After having mastered the magic for the last 3 minutes, the club members enter one of Aoi's drawings depicting a fantasy world, where Aoi and Hitomi encounter the golden fish once again. The two follow it into the darkness, but Aoi soon realizes that Hitomi is missing, with a statue of her turned into stone in front of him next to a heavy bamboo door. Upon opening it, he witnesses a young Hitomi drawing, with monochromatic colors, a river dividing a crying princess and a queen, which he attempts to brighten up by drawing a boat, a bird, and later a rainbow bridge for the princess to cross, but Hitomi rejects them all. Returning to the present, Hitomi decides to tell Aoi about her past. Her mother was the first of the Tukishiro kind to be unable to use magic, instead giving birth to a daughter who could. One day, her mother had left, and from there, Hitomi always believed that it was a punishment for her to be happy with her ability, but being unable to notice her mother's sorrow and make her happy again, therefore believing that magic was something that tore at their relationship and led to its hatred. Aoi walks her to her home after Hitomi bursts into tears. The next few days bring intense preparation for the Magic Photography Art Club, but while cleaning up, Hitomi suddenly disappears only to reappear again, remarking as if time stopped for a moment and arousing Kohaku's worries. Kohaku mails Professor Utley from her magic school at England, discovering that time magic is not permanent, and that because Hitomi's presence is an anomaly, it will definitely cause divergences in the course of the past, creating inevitable time gaps, where the person or object in question can stand to remain stuck there should it stay for too long. With her teenage self still lacking in magical power, Kohaku requests that Hitomi collaborate with her to send her back to her original time, and desperately tries to find the purest high-quality star sand as possible, enlisting the help of everyone else in the club. Meanwhile, Hitomi struggles with her lack of motivation on returning home, and starts disappearing more frequently. Kohaku decides that Hitomi will depart in 2 days, on the night of the cultural festival, where a new moon will appear to maximize the power of the star sand. That night, Hitomi sends a paper airplane to Aoi, and they embrace each other after meeting up, confirming their feelings for each other. Hitomi has a talk with Aoi, who promises her that he's glad he met her. The next day, everyone attends the festival and has a great time, while at night, Kohaku's family throws a feast to wish her goodbye. The second day of the cultural festival reminds Asagi of Hitomi's last day, and she convinces Yamabuki to let Aoi and her have some time alone, exploring the festival together, but Aoi hesitates to properly confess. That night, all the students have an after-party, where Kohaku and Hitomi conjure some magical fireworks. In her extreme happiness, Hitomi realizes that, once again, she has regained her sense of colors, but likewise only for that brief moment. Everyone then heads to the park after a satisfying day, their sadness returning as Kohaku prepares to send Hitomi back to the future. The club members leave their own star sand trails for Hitomi to combine the magic. As there is still a little time left before the moon completely matures, each member decides to leave her their own personal messages. Yamabuki wishes for her to have more confidence in herself, Chigusa wishes for her to smile more, Karumi thanks her for joining the club, Asagi promises to write her letters dated to the future, Kohaku gives her love, and Aoi wishes her all the best in the future and promises never to forget her. Hitomi also announces about how much she has changed since coming here, and thanking them all for all these irreplaceable feelings and memories. In the midst of her announcement though, Hitomi's magic interferes, breaking the time magic. Aoi jumps into the magic circle to save her, but they return to Hitomi's room of monochromatic drawings. The two finally confess their feelings after realizing that they had always been similar in shutting themselves up away from their own emotions, and embrace each other. For those who had both brought color into the other's future, Hitomi regains her sense of colors, and they are successfully transported back to the present. Hitomi is returned to the future just as everyone wishes her goodbye, but only Kohaku knows that the time magic she cast didn't do the trick. Instead, Hitomi's own unconscious erasure of colors from her vision was the limit that had broken the time magic Kohaku's future self had cast. Back in 2078, an old Kohaku gives Hitomi a time capsule everyone had made using their photography skills, but she is especially touched by a picture book called The Seven-Colored Penguin. That was the only book she read in color as a child, revealed to be written by Aoi himself, and detailing the change of a monochromatic penguin, Hitomi, to a colorful one with the help of a rabbit, Asagi, a flying squirrel, Karumi, a bear, Aoi, a dog, Yamabuki, a cat, Shisuga, and a parrot, Kohaku. Hitomi, having regained the people and emotions she lost as a child, returns to her life with renewed vigor and joy. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.